We want to thank our outstanding sponsor, Touring & Cruises Travel. It's the same team as Touring Plans Travel, but with a new name. Their travel advisors will take care of your Disney or other travel destination needs. Make sure you tell them Rope Drop Radio sent you. Now, on to the show.
Helping you navigate the Disney parks.
With the hope that it will be a source of joy and inspiration to all the world.
You're listening to Rope Drop Radio.
Welcome to another Rope Drop Radio. Derek and Doug talking all things Disney, and today we are talking about our Disney trip report. Doug, it was the Rope Drop Radio trip we just got done with.
My gosh, it was wonderful, Derek. We had a great time. At least I did.
I had a wonderful time. I don't even know how many trips we've done together, but they keep getting better and better, and we get to meet more and more of our listeners. So it's just a really fun one, and this is what we're going to be talking about on this week's episode.
Yes, lots to get to on our trip, about our trip report, the Rope Drop Radio trip, but we already have our next one planned. It is
this far in advance. That's a miracle in itself.
Which is like the weirdest thing ever for Rope Drop Radio, if you know us. April of 2025. We will be there roughly April 3rd through the 6th doing the Springtime Surprise weekend. So that's a Run Disney event. The 10 miler is on that Sunday. The plan is I will participate in that event. I have a lot to do before then, Derek.
You do. My plan is to hopefully make it down for the event and see people and cheer you on. And maybe I'm going to go running again this weekend and see how some of the old injuries are doing.
I mean, we don't need you to need a knee replacement just to run. There's a lot of other things that you can do.
Okay.
Other than run. You just don't get the cool bling.
You take some of our listeners running. Mm-hmm. I'll take some of them running around the world. No, we'll just go drinking around the world. So
no, you have to go cheer.
Okay, fine.
You have to cheer, Derek. You go and you cheer in multiple spots.
That's a lot of work.
It is, and I expect it. So, when we did a run, the last run I did, we had a babysitter go and take care of the kids while Michelle and I ran, and they cheered in 3 different spots on the course, Derek.
That's impressive.
Like they worked hard
goals,
at it.
I guess.
Yeah.
So, what if someone listening to this, Doug, wants to run with you?
Well, I mean, if they want to run with me, great. It's awesome. I've already had people reach out about that. So we'll all be signing up for the race in August and then book through Touring & Cruises. That's the best thing you can do to also help support the show. Because we are, it's free to listen to off all the things. So book through Touring & Cruises, come have fun, whether you want to cheer or run or just hang out and drink around the world while I'm sitting in an ice bath and Derek's drinking.
Yes, I love it. That sounds great to me. Yes, book with Touring & Cruises, and then let's get this trip on the books. So, and let us know if you're interested. Send us a message right now. And then another thing you can do to support the show is become a Patreon.
Yes.
Love all of our Patreons. We had some bonus audio from our trip. We got an after show coming a little bit more. And we have 2 new Patreons, Jeff Gorman and B&D Goolsby. Thank you so much for joining the Rope Drop Radio community. And it was fun. We got to meet a couple Patreons while we were on our trip. But it's just so great to have that community. And I did post a couple fun pictures of Doug on the Patreon Facebook group.
Was your whole purpose on the trip, the only reason you went was to get a picture of me asleep on an attraction?
Yes, I tried so many times, Patreons. And listeners, I failed. He's almost got it. My flash went off, and it didn't work.
He failed. Shout out to both new patrons. Awesome. But Jeff Gorman, he's a local. He was a couple years behind me in high school. Actually roomed with him at Disney World on our high school band trip.
Oh, wow. It's come full circle.
Yeah. So he just he was on the Disney Dream.
Maybe Jeff got a picture of you sleeping to share. Creepy.
I mean, he would have. It was before cell phones, right?
Okay, bummer.
Take a lot of pictures back then, right? There was film involved.
Oh wow.
barely evidence that it happened. So, all right. Other ways to support the show: share the show with a friend on social media, or leave an Apple Podcast review. Leave a 5-star review. We will read it on air and mispronounce your names most likely, like this one. Normal Dudes Appreciated, 5 stars by Sheila Dubia. Yep. I
Perfect.
appreciate Doug and Derek are normal dudes, two family men working normal jobs, loving Disney. I appreciate the fact they vacation there like normal people. They talk to one another like myself and one of my buddies do. Great show, men. Keep it up.
Thank you.
There you go.
We're
Yeah.
normal. We're not normal.
Shalabaduba. Yep. All right. Magical, yet still realistic. 5 stars by Nelvola.
Neville
Nivola.
Longbottom. Got it.
Yep. Practical Disney advice that is still tons of fun. There you go.
Well, that's it.
That's great. Yeah, 2 reviews.
Nailed it. 5 stars. Thank you so much.
I'm working on catching up, doing 2 at a
I
time.
don't
So,
want you to catch up. I want these to keep
well, I
coming.
hope
So
we never catch up.
I
It's
do
sad
too.
when we
We did
catch
that
up.
one time and it was
I
terrible.
cry. It's
So
worst
keep
days of our
leaving
lives.
those reviews for us. Thank you so much. And then let's talk about our trip, Rope Drop Radio trip. We take one every year together, Doug, you and me. I think this is our 6th one together. I failed at counting, but right around there. And we've stayed
Mhm.
at a lot of places, but mostly all things pop. And that is where we stayed at again.
Yeah, we tend to gravitate towards it. it Post Skyliner, that is.
Yeah,
Our first trip was
absolutely.
Coronado Springs, right after it was refurbished. I will say that. We've stayed at Beach Club before. We've stayed at All Stars Movies.
One time for one night. Yep.
And then Pop. I think
Lots of
that's
pop.
lots of Pop, all the Pop.
At
And we
least 4
love Pop.
stays at pop.
This room was very nice. We had no problems with the room, did we?
No, the room was great. A lot better than the one time we went into a dirty room and they didn't know how we got in there. But this was great. I was able to get in. I came in on time. Room's clean. I love Pop, especially with the Skyliner. We didn't eat at Pop, but we did drink
No.
at Pedals, Doug. We had to do that.
That was how we ended the trip with Alex. Alex traveled with us, Alex Sinek of Touring and Cruises, travel agent extraordinaire. So we did end, he left on an earlier flight than we did. So what do you do the last night of your trip? You hit up Pedals and watch the
Did.
NBA playoffs.
You
Yeah.
can't finish a stay at Pop without hitting up Pedals. In fact, tag us when you're there. And yeah, it's really great. So Pop, all around great, easy resort, doing some good AP discounts right now. And so I think that's kind of why we've stayed there a few
Yeah,
times.
we there was a decent discount on it. The AP discount got us an extra 5% off, and it was very nice. We had a good room close to the parking lot. So Alex picked us up. We did not typically take the bus when we travel with Alex because he drives, and so we were, I mean, feet from the curb.
It
It
was
worked out
wonderful.
really well, really well.
It
So
did.
thank you to Alex for
Yeah,
being
thank
our
you very much.
chauffeur. He's an excellent driver. Um,
Yes, he is.
yes, and you do have to listen to his music though while he
Yeah,
drives.
that is true.
There's
There you
no one
go.
touches the radio.
Nope. That's
Yep.
a man law right there.
Well, that's true for anyone, right? The
Yep,
driver gets to, yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. So yeah, pedals and Pop.
There you
What a
go.
good
All things
choice.
Pop. So yeah, if you haven't stayed at Pop, book a trip, touring cruises. It's a good one. So
First of all, we barely were in the room,
oh yeah,
right?
we were never in the room.
That's part of why we like Pop. If we were gonna go on, like, say, where we're gonna relax and enjoy a resort day, then we'd probably look at some other options,
That's
though, right,
true.
Derek?
This was all parks, all dining,
Oh,
and a lot of new
a
things.
lot of things. Okay, now we can get into the things.
Let's talk about some new things that are new to the parks, new to us. The first one is at Disney Springs, and that's the drone show, Doug. You saw it once, I saw it 3 times.
It's funny you say what's new to the parks, and then we start with what's not in the parks.
There you go. You know
It's
what? It's the newest thing on my list, so
it's the
there you
newest
go.
thing, and it's awesome. It's
I
really
love
good.
it.
It's worth, um, if I wouldn't necessarily say it's worth the time effort for real little kids, but with your late elementary, middle school on up, where bedtime's not as important, it's worth the energy. They show it twice. The late showing is much less chaotic, right, Derek?
Oh my gosh, I went to the first showing and I couldn't even find a good spot. It was a terrible experience. So going to that second showing at 10:45, showing up about 10:20, getting a good spot on the river,
Hmm.
that worked out perfectly for me. And I highly recommend getting there early enough so you can get down. It's not a river; it's a little lake area, lakefront, and get a good spot. The best spot, by the way, is about you got to walk about halfway to the balloon from where the Cirque du Soleil show is. There's a little inlet there, and what's the restaurant I always mispronounce? Jale, ja,
Haleo.
Haleo. There you go.
Haleo.
And it's
It's
just
a
right on the other
H
side of
H
Jaleo. Got it.
sound.
Mm-hmm.
Haleo.
Haleo. It's a
Oh,
J,
Derek.
guys.
Yeah, right behind there. Or the back patio of Haleo or Starbucks would work
Yes.
really well too if you can snag that. That might be more work, but they kind of make you walk all the way down past House of Blues and then over towards the lake. But don't stop. Keep walking all the way back from which you came.
Yes.
It's weird traffic pattern they're creating, but you go past the main crowds to get the better view.
That's true. There
Yeah,
you go.
yeah.
So,
It was good. Lots of neat images in it.
oh man,
I wish it
fantastic.
traveled down the water a little more, but also the way they rebuilt Disney Springs is they did not build it with lots of open space to see the water. There's buildings along the water. So,
Yep.
yeah, I think
And
it's
probably
just a
one of the
test.
worst trees. Me and another dad almost cut down one of the trees at the first show I went to. It's like, there's no point for this tree to be here,
No,
but we didn't.
that's probably for
Might
the
lose my
best.
AP with that one.
Uh,
So glad I
we're
didn't.
hoping it comes to a park by this time next year.
Same.
Animal
So
Kingdom, maybe.
hope that'd be
Epcot's
awesome.
Hollywood Studios. We figured out how it could work for all the places, except Derek
We
with
did.
all his negative Nanciness
Okay. There's
and
laws.
laws.
Okay.
Law.
Moving on. The next thing we got to discuss is what we're going to be talking about on next week's episode, and that is Tiana's. Michelle McKnight is actually there right now for the media event, which is awesome. We didn't get invited,
Mhm.
but your wife did,
She
and she's going
did
to be
through
on next
Touring
week's
and
show.
Cruises. Yeah,
Yeah.
the travel agency got an invite and she got to represent Touring and Cruises. So she's there watching things. I think she's seeing the drone show here any
Oh,
minute from when
nice.
we're recording this. But they saw the new stuff at Epcot and the new stuff at with Tiana's. She got to ride Tiana's already. And yeah, so next week we'll talk more about that to get ready for the opening that's a few weeks away. I think it's the 28th of June, something like that. But lots of previews between now and then, isn't there? Not
Yeah,
for us, though,
not for
Derek.
us. We missed it. Missed all of them. All of them.
Just going to call out all our cast member friends and let them know thank you for thinking of us when we were down
Mm-hmm.
there to take us
Thanks.
on. You think your
Alyssa taking
wives are
her.
more
Yeah.
important?
Nope. Spouses. Yeah. I see how it
Mm,
is.
yep. We're joking, guys. We love
We
you.
are. No, I'm not. We wanted to go. So, Doug, one thing you got to do that I've done is you got to see Illuminous for the first time. What did you think of the evening show at Epcot?
I like the symphonic version of the music. It is the Symphony of Us, right? Illuminous, the
Mm-hmm.
Symphony of Us. You could see how they were tying that in with it being more a symphonic soundtrack. Uh, it's like all the recent shows are put into a blender and poured back out again and then let it become a solid substrate, and it's just the same stuff blended a different way. I appreciate that the tacos are gone from the water during the day and during the show, because you don't need to be right on the rail to see the show. There's
That's
nothing
true.
super important going on the water. So if you're back a little ways, all you're missing is some fountains with color, right? So that is one thing I love is I don't have to be on the rail to enjoy this show. I can be back a little bit. I like how they light up different areas of the World Showcase. I think it's an improvement on Harmonious. Sorry, Derek.
It's
And
okay.
I'm so glad the Death Tacos are gone.
Man, I love me some death tacos, but I also hated looking at them during the day. So
Well,
I
and
see
like
it.
if you didn't get a good spot, you couldn't see the Death Tacos. There was chunks of Harmonious where nothing was happening except on the screens. And
Correct.
if you couldn't see the
Only two good
screen,
spots. Yeah.
right? Like you couldn't see through the portal to the other dimension, you're kind of left out of the story.
No.
Okay.
All
There
right.
you go.
Next thing is DAS. So a lot of people were upset with the changes to the DAS system. So we got to experience it on the other side. So Doug, why don't you mention what is going on and then how that has affected lightning lanes?
So on our previous trip, like every lightning lane line was like long. Like you get a lightning
Very
lane, but
long.
you're still waiting. Now, when you have a lightning lane, you just basically walk right up. And I had heard from various sources within the company that I won't name or say, but like the percentage they were saying was abuse of DAS was insane. And like,
It
kind of like,
was.
really, really that much? Obviously, it was. We saw DAS being used and in action, and people that needed it using it. We did see that. But like, it was very different. And lightning lanes weren't backed up. The only time you waited to like tapped in on a lightning lane is if you just happen to walk up behind somebody, or if someone just didn't have their cards ready. Like they didn't have, or they were using one phone to go through everybody's park ticket to scan in. That takes a long time. If you're going to be a phone scanner, just ask for the free ticket. They will give you a piece of plastic to tap, and then you can just tap them all.
Yep.
That's the only time we really waited. It was
Oh,
great,
it completely changed lightning lanes for me. I was
and
blown
so
away.
we were in and out of things so much faster because of that.
Yep.
We got so much more done. Um,
It
as
makes
we went
Genie
on.
Plus even more worth it now.
It does.
And I mean, I love DAS for the people that absolutely need it. And I know some of my friends at the park, and yes, absolutely. But there was a lot of cast members we know have said that the abuse got kind of out of control. And that's why Disney made those changes. It wasn't against anyone who needed it. It was against the people that were taking advantage of it.
Right.
And
And an
yeah,
example of what no longer works. So, like, we were often kind of harassed by some people about not using DAS for our daughter. Samantha has asthma that can flare up pretty good. We carry inhalers, that sort of stuff, right? But she also played high school soccer. Like, she started on varsity soccer. So it seems very hypocritical of us to go from she just played a whole soccer season starting high school varsity soccer to we need help for her to stand. And
yeah.
I think that's what they took care of. Like, if we can't agree that that doesn't track, then that's, yeah. So like, she has never had a problem standing in line. And yes, the Florida heat, it affects everybody, but it's Florida. Um, yeah, it was hot.
It was hot.
We all
Speaking of,
we all should have had a DAS for the heat,
oh, that's
right?
true. As
At that
you,
point, right?
this is my
Like,
transition for the next
okay,
section.
oh,
I love it because we can go into DAS more, but
well, we could, but I should stop
it was, I mean, it was really hot, like stupid hot. Maybe question some of my decisions of like wanting to live in Florida someday. Because of the heat,
there.
we
Yeah,
were able
Derek,
to
it
do a
should
lot
have.
of we did a lot of rides because and it's also a weird week because it's kind of between the two summer breaks. So it was not as busy. So I got to push Doug as hard as I could on so many rides, including Tron. I got Doug back on Tron. I don't know how he did. I think Doug was
I
in the
don't
heat,
either.
tired. He wanted to be in the air conditioning of the ride, and we talked him into doing it again.
Yeah, you and Alex, I used the word bullied, I think, but neither of you really thought that was the correct
Peer
term.
pressure, better word.
It's not the Jungle Cruise peer pressure either.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Derek offered me a drink. I said, sure, let's do it. One, it wasn't hot yet, right? It was still it was in the upper 70s at that point. And two, I hadn't eaten lunch yet. All I had was one singular tater tot. I mean, potato barrel.
Yeah, there you go. You're welcome. That was one of mine.
Yeah. Yeah. So that was why I
And
did
would you
it.
think of Tron the second time since you almost died the first time?
So the selling point that you guys give me was try it in the back row, the
Yep,
like
the high
regular
chair.
chair.
Yep,
It's not called a high chair. It's just a chair.
yep.
It's not a high chair.
Okay.
Alex gets up there and goes, "Yeah, he needs the high chair." I'm like, what? Were you guys? And the sad thing is, the cast member knew what that meant. So sat in the back, and it was not any different.
Doug almost died again at the end.
I had to sit
A
down
lot of
for a
water on
minute.
his face, had to sit down,
Yeah.
made my day. I texted Michelle. I got him to go on Tron. I got the face palm emoji. But you lived. You lived. You're here now. Nothing bad
Mhm.
happened.
I don't know why I can't do it. I feel like a bum. I love the launch. The first, it's so I love it, and then it's like, boy, my body doesn't.
Okay. Well, later on in the show, I did something for a second time I said I would never do again, and we had a different outcome. So,
That's
uh,
true.
but let's another ride highlight, not really a ride highlight. We did the Moana walk around, and we actually recorded a bonus episode that will be
We
coming out
did.
this week. So, every time there's a new ride or attraction, Doug and I have to experience it, and we did. We did a whole little 10-minute walkthrough.
Yeah, we actually did it right at
Rope drop,
park
park
opening.
open. Yeah.
Yeah, right before. So we were in early entry time, and we did it right before park opening. So the normal people weren't there yet. So it was just like us and one other person. It was fantastic to walk
Yeah.
around without anybody. Not the attraction's fantastic. You'll have to make that up for yourself, I guess.
Well, you'll have to listen to the podcast and let us
Yeah,
know what you think.
yeah.
So, let's both share some ride highlights that we had. We don't want to go through our days completely. I had
We
one
did a
that I
lot.
wanted to share. We did a
Oh,
lot. We did pretty
we did a
much
lot.
everything but Tom Sawyer's Island and the carousel. So, one highlight that I
Mm.
have from this trip, it's still hilarious because I laugh when I think about it, is the lady next to me on Rise who
Oh,
had
it's
never
fantastic.
done older foreign lady. She thought the ride was over after
She
the
did
stormtrooper.
speak English,
She did.
just
Yeah.
not super, super well, but she spoke it.
And she stood by me pretty much the whole time. So it was great. We get off. She goes, exit, exit, like we are leaving after the stormtroopers. And I go, no, the ride hasn't even begun yet. And she goes, oh. And I'm thinking,
And
oh, please be queued up with me.
right, and then so she was there with, 3 younger boys and their
Hmm.
mother, so it was like a 3-generation, family, and they ended up in the same vehicle as us, and
Oh, in
we
the
kept
same.
telling them what direction to look,
Oh, yeah.
right?
She
Like,
was,
"Turn
she
around,
came,
guys,"
they were looking the complete wrong way when we got
all the
off into
time.
the stormtrooper room, and I'm pointing the opposite direction, and they're like, "Whoa!" Like, but it's really fun to relive the first
Yeah,
time through someone else's eyes. Like, I
and
love
the
when we were getting
lightsaber comes to the ceiling,
light.
right?
She
And
screamed. The interrogation scene, like what? She's kind of freaking out a little bit because we're trapped in there. But my favorite is it's like we get locked in, and it's right before the drop. Spoilers, and I
mhm,
go, bye bye. And she goes, and she screams, but that scream turned into
uh,
loud cheering. And I'm like,
mhm.
that's the magic. Like
The
she has gone full emotion, and I have laughed. I have not enjoyed that ride that well in a long time.
no, and then when we were done, like, after the drop, she goes, "You didn't warn me,"
Hey,
to
yeah, my
Derek.
fault.
She was
She was mad at me.
because you kept telling her where to look the whole,
Yes. Yeah, yeah.
the whole time from, like, after the being captured. Actually, from the shuttle, because they were, like, ready to get off the wrong door, just standing there, and, meanwhile, the First Order's already boarded behind them. So, yeah,
That
that
was
was
a good
pretty
one.
good. Yeah, that was good. I enjoyed that a lot. I enjoyed our rope dropping of Triceratops Spin at Animal Kingdom.
And we weren't even the first ones on.
We
Like, it was
weren't
the first ride of the day, but we weren't even the first ones on. There's a dad and a kid.
Yeah, a couple little boys, and they were on the total opposite side of us. So that was a good one. And they let us know we could have gone again. Nobody else was there, but we opted to get off to go ride Dinosaur,
Yep.
which could be one last time.
I know. We
Depends
had to
on.
ride Dinosaur.
I don't know when Dinosaur will close. Possibly October, before October, I think, somewhere in there.
Yep.
So Triceratops rope drop was pretty good. Then getting to yell, "Not my dino!" It's a classic Disney line.
It is. I love that ride too. I'm glad we did it one more time just in case we don't get to it again. Another one, Test Track. I love riding Test Track. It's my son's favorite ride. It's going away soon, actually. And
Remodeled. It's not going
remodeled,
away.
not going
Don't
away.
don't hit the panic
Reimagined.
button.
Sorry. Wow. Yeah.
Reimagined. Yeah.
My bad, guys. But yeah, it's not being turned into an empty shell building, which is another episode we'll be doing here down the road. But Test Track had to do it another time, and
Derek,
I'm
you
glad we
wonder
did.
why we don't get invited to media events. We're
You're
going to do
right.
a show about the empty buildings.
Good point. Well
Yeah, I
played.
might do it.
Touche.
Yeah, Test Track was good. I think I designed an amazing car at Test Track.
It was the rope drop radio mobile.
It was pretty horrible.
It
So,
was terrible.
um, other ride things. I got into a Dumbo, and then someone just followed right in behind me.
I did.
Yeah, that
I was
was
supposed to have my
that.
own Dumbo. No, no. I'm going to ride with Doug, next to Doug, go on Instagram, talk about it,
I
and have so many comments from you, our listeners. Thank you. And I said, this is why I did it, Doug. All the people,
know.
but your son's comment was the best.
Oh, about how the smaller rider's supposed to be on the inside?
Yeah, that made me
Yeah.
laugh. I said that was a good one.
Yeah. Well, that's because the smaller riders jumped in behind me. And then we left the Dumbo empty. So some
We
poor
did.
kid could have gotten
Saw it and was
on.
like, what's going on?
Why is Dumbo so lonely? We also did Astro Orbiter for the first time in a long time, but we did
We rope
not
dropped
ride
it.
that together.
We did not.
Which that is a good rope drop use, Astro Orbiter, because it does not have Genie Plus. There's no lightning
Correct.
lane there. If you're trying to do it all,
Gotta
that's a
start
great one
somewhere.
to do first thing. So we
Yep.
did Astro Orbiter, Buzz, Tomorrowland Speedway, just boom,
Knocked it
boom,
out.
boom. Yeah.
Early entry. And if you're not trying to go to Seven Dwarfs, you can get a lot done.
Yeah, if you're gonna buy
I think we did
Seven
7
Dwarves,
attractions before like we could even start with the lightning lanes.
right? Because we didn't do the big ones. We did Astro, Buzz,
Speedway,
Speedway.
Dumbo, Teacups.
We went Dumbo, no Teacups, Dumbo, Barnstormer, Pooh.
Yep.
So all boom, 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 boom. It was busy. Though.
That was good.
I think it might have been a little bit past the 30-minute mark, but
It was a little
close.
over an hour. I texted my wife and kid when I was throughout. So it was a good run, definitely. If we were doing a Run Disney or a whatever Kent does, the Every Ride Challenge, we had a good start.
Yeah, we did. We did every ride in the Magic Kingdom except the carousels and Tom Sawyer's Island. So
that's correct. I have another ride highlight real quick. I got to see the new Star Tours, one of the new scenes. I saw the Ahsoka one with the Purgles. I was like, okay, that was fun. I need to ride it some more to see all the other ones, though.
I'm shocked you only went on it once. I mean, you had a meetup to get to.
But... Yes, yeah. I actually was late to a meetup.
Yes, you were.
Yes,
you were.
So another thing, Doug, we ate a lot of food. A lot of food.
We did.
A lot. I'm still full.
But we ate enough that we didn't eat lunch.
That is true.
It
so
was
the
weird.
question I asked a few years ago was like, should Derek and Doug ever do a character meal together on a rope drop radio trip? We joked, said, why would we? And here we are. We did 3. So 1900, Tusker House and Garden Grill. And then we also had an ADR for Roundup Rodeo. But let's talk about some of the character meals that we did, Doug. What are your thoughts about Garden Grill?
Garden Grill, we did breakfast. I love the dinner. Breakfast, it's pretty good. There was steak on that platter. It's all you care to eat. You don't have to get up and go to a buffet. I love that aspect. It's in the park, so you're right there ready to go, or it's a nice brunch for later in the morning after you've done some things at Epcot. Characters are good there. Mickey, Pluto, and Chip and Dale. Yeah, good
Those
food,
potato
good
things,
characters.
amazing.
Yeah, we had like a few bites of potatoes, and we're like, "Yeah, you're gonna have to
bring us another one.
Just bring the potatoes, more potatoes."
Yeah, not the real eggs, though.
The first people there, though, in the morning. So if you're like a huge Mickey waffle person, I'm pretty sure our Mickey waffles were made like at 6 a.m. and then under a heat lamp for a while. So later in the morning, probably the fresher your food will be. If that makes sense. It's not saying it's bad. It's just you can tell how long a Mickey waffle's been hanging out waiting for you to bite its ear off.
That's true.
So that was probably my second favorite meal, character meal that we did out of the 3. That was probably number 2 for me.
I would agree with that. So my worst one was Tusker House breakfast.
Yeah, that's coming in number 3 out of the ones we did.
I agree.
First of all, it's a quarter mile to the buffet. Yep. Like from where we were sitting. Not everybody's going to be that far, but it's huge. It's just so big. Good food though. They have an omelet station.
The omelet bar was great. That I enjoyed quite a bit.
You gotta give credit there.
Eggs.
They have a zebra coffee cake.
Yep.
Which I didn't know zebras were so tasty, but the zebra coffee cake was really good. They have all the other standard fare, and then they have a bunch of more authentic or African flavored things that I can't eat, so I can't speak to them. Did you get any of those different
Nope.
salads and things? So
No, I
the
didn't.
one
Oh, I did
person
get the
on the show
broccoli.
that could have,
I did get the broccoli thing, and it was
which I could
delicious.
not get, I
Yep.
could not, yeah. So, well, that's good. So they had lots of like little different salads and stuff, and Derek was supposed to be the one tasting those for you, the listener, but he
I know. I
only
drank too
had
much jungle
one.
juice. I had like 9 glasses. Delicious. That's my favorite thing at Tusker House.
I had Diet Coke. It was the
Yeah,
same as every
weird.
other
At like
Diet Coke.
8:30 in the morning.
Why is that different than coffee, people? It's just caffeine. It's
Okay.
different carrier. But yeah, Tusker House is so big that I think I would
It
think that's
is.
the real issue. It takes the characters a long time to get around.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's a full hour for the characters to work their way around. So if you
If not
miss
more.
one,
Yep.
it's trouble. But that's my biggest knock on Tusker House. Still, the food was
I
good.
agree.
We left very full.
We did.
All right.
Our next character meal was my favorite one, and that is one I hadn't been to since before the pandemic because it just reopened, and that's 1900 over at the Grand Floridian.
Yes, 1900 Park Fair reopened with Wish Givers or something is the
Yes,
theme.
something like that.
And I had a conversation about how that's not really. We were there with Annette, the owner of Tureen and Cruises. Actually, Annette and Tracy, owners of Tureen and Cruises. Give Tracy some credit. He's the one in the parks taking the pictures. By golly.
Yep.
So it is Aladdin and Cinderella, Tiana in her adventure outfit that you will see in the new attraction, and Maribel.
Such a random group that I think no matter what your kid likes, they will like one of the 4.
There's something for everyone right there,
Yes.
right? You got a prince, you got classic Cinderella, you have the brand new Tiana, and then Maribel.
Everyone loves Maribel.
Yeah. What's not to like?
Encanto.
We had way too long a conversation with her. We talked with all of them a long time.
We did. Actually, Maribel gave my niece a special message.
Right? And like Annette had each of them do a little video for her grandkids.
Yep.
Which was like they all obliged, they all did everything. Aladdin came up behind me and kind of put his hands on my shoulders, started talking, and I do believe he compared me to a monkey.
Oh, he did. Point. It was great.
He totally compared me to a monkey, and I called him out on it. He was like, no. I'm like, oh yeah, you did. So that was fun. Face characters can be the most awkward thing on earth.
Yep.
Or pretty entertaining. They were pretty entertaining. I will say that.
Did great. The food, even better. I really enjoyed the food here. Had some good prime rib, mashed potatoes, carrots, green beans. The desserts were fantastic.
Lots of desserts.
Strawberries, by the way. The freshest strawberries I've had in years.
I think they must just grow them outside of the Grand Flow or something. It's just right there. So the food was really good. The carving station, turkey and roast beef, or prime rib, sorry. It was lots of options on the meats. The desserts were like 2 separate things. Like they had more dessert options. So last trip I ate at Hollywood and Vine, and I've always thought Hollywood and Vine has wide array of desserts compared to other buffets. That I usually give them credit for. They do dessert well because they also have soft serve ice cream and stuff like that. Where 1900 had about the biggest variety as Hollywood and Vine, but like a little bit fancier. Everything's just a little bit fancier. And then you have the strawberry soup, which I'm pretty sure is just like raw sugar cane, dyed red.
It was perfect. Everything was great. Highly recommend. We had that question actually from a bunch of people when we posted about it. Yes, highly recommend.
Potatoes.
Glad it's back. Yeah, those were
the
good
mashed potatoes were really good.
Yeah,
I don't know what was in them, but I like them. Maybe crack cocaine. I don't know.
Maybe. I don't know if we can say that on air, but all right.
I think if that's the ingredient though, Derek, I don't know. I'm speculating.
Yeah. So
it's probably butter.
Probably butter. Lots of butter.
Lots of butter.
Good review from Derek and Doug. And then let's talk about another ADR we got second time around Disney. Doug took me to Backyard Barbecue.
I had to do some convincing.
Roundup Rodeo. There you go.
I don't know what Backyard Barbecue is, but it's r- I can't even say the right name. Rodeo Barbecue,
There you
Rodeo
go.
Roundup Barbecue. It's not Woody's. Woody's is a counter service.
Yep.
Anyway,
So
the barbecue joint,
Derek's
it's
first
come around.
experience here was one of the worst experiences, maybe the worst dining experience I've ever had on property. And I said I would never go back. And Doug's like, "Oh, let's go back." And it was night and day. Now I went really early on, first few weeks it was open. They
Yep.
had figured their stuff out.
And
So
you went right at dinner time too,
yes. Yep.
right?
So right now they have it down. The food was so much better. The service was 10 times better. It was a smoother experience. We didn't have to pick sides. They just brought a little bit of
Yes.
everything.
That's
We didn't
the
have to pick a dessert. They brought all the desserts. Like it was just so much better all around. And I will say I really like it.
it was good. And the biggest changes on the you used to have to pick like 2 or 3 sides depending on
Yep.
how many were in your party. Now you just get every side. That's how it should have started. The
Correct.
desserts, you're supposed to pick 1,
Hmm.
but you can say, "Just bring us all." So they brought, 3 little dishes with all of the desserts. So everybody did we had 6 people there, I think. Not everybody got every single dessert, but, like, we had enough, and if we wanted more, we could ask. So the desserts come in this weird little glass jar thing, like a mini mason jar. They're
Yep.
like 4 bites, but, oh, the chocolate mousse,
It
the
looked good. I bet it was
strawberry,
good.
the peach one, oh,
They're all good.
good
No,
stuff.
I had a fantastic meal. Like I was shocked. I thought it was great, and I'm happy you talked me into doing it again.
Yeah, me too. I'm glad it was good. I was a little nervous. I mean, it was good when I went a few weeks after you,
You
like, I
went
went,
right
like
at like 10:30 or
we
11. Like
we
you were the
went we were
first
the
ones.
first ADR, right? The
Yep.
only people that went in before us were people with VIP tours.
Yes.
So you chalked up my experience to that. And I was thinking, like, I think it's just they figured some things out
Yep.
between yours and mine, which is how it works, right?
That is
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
So the other restaurant we did was in Epcot. We did Teppen Edos. So in the Japan Pavilion where
Yes.
they cook food in front of you, always a good choice. You know what's fun? That restaurant was full as can be,
Yes.
and we had a great time. We had an awesome family. They might be listening, sitting next to us that we
Yes.
shared some strategies and secrets with. And yeah, it was overall good meal.
It was good, and I do like that you make new friends. Also, at all of these meals, one thing we do for research purposes, it's just research purposes, we always say it's somebody's birthday
That's
to see what
correct.
happens. And Tepan was one of the best ones. We said it was Kent's birthday. He was with us for that meal, and his face might have been the like Chiefs red shade. Like he's such a Chiefs fan now that his face was that red.
Yep,
I hope he hears me say that.
I do too.
But then he got ice cream. He's like, "You guys didn't know ice cream," so it was fine. It was worth the price of the admission just to see him be so embarrassed. There's 4 big tables of 8 in each room. They stopped the whole room, all the
Yep,
chefs, all the attention. It was fantastic. The other birthday celebration that we had that was phenomenal was at Garden Grill, where
that
it
was
was
my
Derek's
birthday.
birthday,
Yeah,
and our server like sang you a
went
whole
all out.
song.
He did.
It wasn't happy birthday. He like sang a song. I don't
Zippity
even remember.
doo dah. Yeah, it
Yeah,
was
that's right.
your birthday is you, something like that. Yeah.
It was
It
I
went
was
on
like,
for a
"Oh,
while too.
it
I was like, "Oh,
was."
he's still
Yeah,
going."
and it's still going, and it's still going. So, also other places did nothing.
That's
So,
true.
I think we failed to say a birthday at one of the places, but Tusker House, it was your birthday. I don't know if you knew that, but they did
Did
nothing
not
for
know.
that.
Cladded nothing.
Yeah.
Yep,
Yeah.
glad.
Yeah. Tusker
Sweet.
House did nothing. 1900, I think, failed to do anything for the birthday as well. And where else? Barbecue. I think we forgot to say it was somebody's birthday, so
That
we
probably
we failed
got
at our
failed
research.
at that one.
Um, I really wish we would have said it was Kent's there, and
That would have been
I
even
bet it would
better.
have been a big
Yes.
deal. Yeah.
That would have been
So.
awesome. We did
Uh
get
huh.
one more ADR, and that was to Oga's. So we'll transition this to the drinking side
Hmm.
of our trip, which there was a lot of alcohol consumed. But Oga's, in my mind, Doug, is starting to go downhill because My Bespin Fizz doesn't fizz anymore. The tingled things, it just, and it's getting an ADR to get in there. I love Oga's. For a while, I said it was my favorite bar on property. I don't know if it makes the top 5 anymore.
So I think if it's your first or second time,
You
Oga's is
gotta do it.
still really cool,
Yep.
right? Which is why it's busy, why you need an ADR. But if you've been a time or two, the novelty's not there. And I think Oga's is more of a novelty rather than a
Mhm.
sit, enjoy your drink, and enjoy some camaraderie because they're packing people in, moving you around.
Oh, yeah,
It's
they said
it's
45 minutes, 2
not.
drinks. We were only able to get 1 drink in 45 minutes.
Yeah, so it is what it is. It's not designed for us, is what I will say
Correct.
about Oga's right now, sadly. Um, so yeah, there's the Oga's. But if you
Oga's.
haven't been, go. It's still that's what it's there for.
There you go. Love it. So while we'll continue talking about booze, one thing we said we were going to do was a mono. No, we did a monorail bar crawl. Let's
We
start
did
with
a monorail
Epcot.
bar crawl.
We did a Epcot World Showcase, eat and snack around the world. We started in
Eat
Mexico,
and
Doug.
snack. We
Oh,
did a
drink and
sip and
snack, sip and snack. There you
sip and
go.
snack. Whew,
Yes,
Derek, struggle
I
words.
am struggling on words, but I have
So
not
we called
drank it
it
all today for the record. So there
a
you go.
sip and snack. So we didn't call it a drinking around the world because that implies everybody gets a whole drink at every country. There was a lot of times where we got a drink, split it up. I made Derek carry in cups. He about had a panic attack. But we did split up some drinks to share. We also shared desserts. So we
Yep.
weren't like super gluttonous on this, just FYI. And we were not having a drink in every country individually. We did share. So we were not, and dinner was also in the middle of this. This was like a 7 hour, 8 hour process or more. Was it more?
It was a long
It
process.
was a long process. So it wasn't a lot of alcohol in a short window of time. Just
Nope.
disclaimer.
Thank you. Well, we did have a full glass of alcohol at La Cava, and let's tell a story about what happened at La Cava because you got to start in Mexico. That's one of the
I had a
correct
Diet
answers.
Coke.
You had a Diet Coke. I had a full margarita. I started drinking my margarita. I'm like, this is delicious. Doug tried some of it. And all of a sudden, the waiter comes by and goes, "Do you like it?" And I go, "Yeah, I love it." And he goes, "Well, I gave you the wrong drink." He puts the other drink in front of me, takes the good drink away. And then I drank what he said was the wrong drink. It was
It
this
had to have
spicy thing I
been.
did not order. And he's like, "No, that's what you ordered." And I'm like, "No, it's not." So I finished the spicy drink, really annoyed with that one because I did have the right drink and then he took it away. Why not just leave it? You made like you admitted you made a mistake to a mistake you didn't make.
Yeah, it was a thing. We also got chips and salsa while we were
Yep.
there.
Yep.
Yeah.
Always gotta have
Um,
something
I
good. So
enjoyed my Diet Coke.
there you go.
Um, that was weird though. But also, if you give them the wrong drink, why'd they take it from you? They're just gonna
Exactly.
go dump it out.
Yeah.
Like you already. Yeah, and so our snack was chips and salsa, and had some drinks. We didn't follow really any set of rules.
No, we
We
didn't.
did not ride the attraction because there was a
There was a
line.
long line too.
What? We
Yep.
don't do lines. Part of that was Epcot was very busy that day because Hollywood Studios closed at 5:30 for a private function with
With
Maroon
Maroon
5.
5. Yeah.
What?
We were not
Yeah.
invited to
So
that.
just if you see like a 5 something closing in the park hours, if you're traveling with your family, you want to get a lot of attractions done in an empty park, Hollywood Studios would have been the day you wanted to go was when it closed at 5.
Correct.
It was a ghost town. I saw some tweets, some other pictures, and it was. And their wait times were basically none.
Yep.
So Hollywood Studios was the park, but so Epcot was packed.
It was.
Yeah.
So yeah, we went to China. I don't think we need to go through everything we ate and drank, but we and is there anyone in particular?
That's
Or-
what the people want,
Okay, people
Derek.
want. So
They
we
want to
went to
know.
Norway and we got school bread and then we got the
You were just going to
Viking
skip
coffee.
Norway.
I did. My
You
bad.
can't just people want to hear Derek, you're
All
a
right.
questionable podcaster today. Yeah, we went to Norway. We went to the bakery there and got school bread, which is a traditional dessert that they would get. I've asked before and they've explained it, and the kids were like, "Yeah, I actually had this. It's a real thing." So it's a like Bavarian cream, but I wouldn't call it Bavarian cream because it's in Norway. So a Norwegian cream, I don't know. In a pastry with toasted coconut on top. We cut that in lots of little pieces, shared it with everybody with us. We had some listeners along at that point too. So, shout out to them. They know who they are. They're pretty awesome. And then there was a Viking coffee. Is
Yep.
that the?
Mm-hmm.
And Alex forced me to drink some of it.
Yeah, it's good.
I
Tastes
don't
like
drink
chocolate milk. I can
coffee.
only have a sip.
Did not taste like chocolate milk. Tasted like coffee
Okay.
and alcohol.
There you go.
All right. Then we went to China.
For the record, I haven't had chocolate milk in so many years because I'm lactose. So I guess
Clearly,
I
you
don't
don't
anymore.
know what it
No, I
tastes
guess
like.
not anymore.
Tasted like coffee.
Okay.
A Viking coffee. Then we went to China, got the Tipsy Ducks in Love, split that up.
That was actually better than I thought.
We had some of that. We didn't get a snack though in China, did we? We kind of already failed 3 countries in. We couldn't really do it, could we?
We can next time. We need more listeners to book and travel with us to encourage us. That's what we need.
And to split stuff with.
Yes.
Right? Like I ended up eating 2 pieces of the school bread because not everybody took a piece.
Correct.
Well, I didn't want some people to. Anyway, then we went to Germany. You did take one?
I did eat some.
I thought you didn't like school bread.
I don't, but I haven't had it for a while, so I tried it again. It's still not that great.
You just don't like coconut, right?
I can't stand coconut.
Yeah. It's not that much coconut, but it's just enough to give it a little zest.
Mm-hmm.
Then we went to Germany. I don't know what all drinks people got, but there was multiple beers
I got a
purchased
brandy
in Germany.
mixed with a pear, a little shot of that. It was delicious.
And we got, I went to the caramel, I don't know how to pronounce it, Cooch. And I got just caramel popcorn, which was really fresh and really good. And I finished it the other night.
Oh, nice.
I brought home the leftovers because I stuck it in Derek's bag. So we enjoyed some stuff in Germany. Then next up is Italia, where there was wine. Yep. What kind of wine did you get, Derek?
I got a white Moscato type wine, so something that was sweeter. That Doug, I gave you a sip.
I did like it. It was good. And I think was still drinking a sipper that he got from Germany of just straight something. I can't remember. And then Alex got a different kind of wine in Italy. Then we were in America. Correct?
Where we watched the greatest Voices of Liberty. Yep.
Yeah, really good show, I thought. They did the 50 United States song. I've never seen them do that. So we got to cheer really loud when they said Nebraska, didn't we, Derek?
We did.
We represented.
We were the only ones there cheering for Nebraska, but we represented.
It's not shocking at all, is it?
Nope.
No.
And then I did not get a drink in America. You guys all did.
Why didn't you?
I went to the bathroom.
Okay. The bar wasn't closed when you came out. So the Regal Eagle bar, the outside bar, has some really good drinks. I got the lemonade, as it is called, and you had a drink of that though, right?
I did, of course, I did.
Yeah, I shared that with you a little. But that was one that I was waiting. That was my first full drink. Was there? Then we went and moved along to Japan, but we decided we will come back to Japan
because we were going to eat that night.
Yep. And so that put us into Morocco? No, France. Morocco.
Yeah, Morocco.
Yeah.
Where we went to the AP Lounge.
And lounged for a bit. Yep. And then we went to France.
We did not eat or drink in Morocco, I realized after we left.
Right. And Ratatouille was... Yeah, we kind of left without realizing what we did. And then Ratatouille was down. So then we begrudgingly moved on from France at that point and just went to the UK, where we went to what is, I don't know, Derek, describe it. One of your favorite bars?
Yeah, we went to Rose and Crown, which I have ranked as one of my favorite bars on property pre-pandemic because I love all the people. It's just an extrovert heaven.
It's back there. It's back to pre-pandemic. It's packed full of people. It's packed. A regular bar.
I loved it. It is a bar. But
you gotta work your way up to the counter. I didn't order anything.
No, but we made Doug because Doug's favorite
Alex
drink is there.
ordered me.
Yes.
My favorite drink or
Your
your
favorite
guys'
drink
favorite drink for
is your
me to
favorite
drink?
drink is there. It's called a leprechaun. It is
Leaping
green.
leprechaun.
Leaping leprechaun. I don't know what's all in it, but it's green and it is fantastic for Doug to drink because
It,
then Doug turns into a leaping leprechaun
I
and
don't think that's what
it's wonderful. I
happens.
loved it. Yes, it
It
was great.
it, it
I
just
will
tastes
buy
like
Doug.
juice.
Here's what I've learned is that anyone with us will buy Doug a leaping leprechaun. Like, Doug, you get free drinks. Any listeners, like, oh, we're
Yeah.
here. Let's get Doug a leaping leprechaun.
It is, yeah. That was enough that's all I needed
Yep,
for
you
the
were
night.
great. And then we got a
Was
free shot
I?
of Jameson.
I didn't take that. There
I
was
know.
just the random people next to us
You stay in there long
handed
enough,
it
you get a
over.
drink bought for you.
Yeah, well, we were good looking, so
Yeah,
it's gonna happen.
absolutely. So then, yeah, we went back
Gonna
to
happen.
Japan and then we did Ratatouille. We got wine in
No,
France.
so we went back to Japan and ate dinner.
Yes.
And we ate at Teppan, which we talked about, where there was drinks at dinner. So we ate and drank there. And then we went to France and rode Ratatouille, where
Yep.
we saw the same family we sat at dinner
And
with.
they're like, how did you get here? And we're like, please.
Magic.
Yeah, they were so shocked. It was perfect.
Yeah. Yeah.
Got a wine in France. Can't remember what I got.
Did we ever actually get anything in Morocco? I don't
We
think
never
so.
did. No, we failed at
just
Morocco.
failed.
Alex did. Alex got a beer, and so he's
there we
success.
go.
I was a
Alex.
failure.
Alex is a completist, and I will applaud him for that right now.
Yes. Yay. Good job, Alex.
Good job, Alex.
And then we went to Canada and got one final little, I got a sipper drink there.
I got a light beer. It tasted
you did.
like dirty water. The bar situation in Canada is concerning.
Weak. It is very much.
It's almost insulting to a nation.
For me, who's half Canadian. I'm like, there should be more bars here and a ride.
And you know what? There was none of beers that said ice in front of them. That's all I expect out of Canada.
Oh wow, it's terrible.
Am I wrong?
No, not at all. So yeah, there you go. We successfully sip and snacked around the world. Thank you to our listeners who came with us. We would love to do that again sometime with even more listeners. So next Rope Drop Radio trip after Doug runs, we'll drink around the world.
I can tell you not doing it before I run.
No, definitely not.
Ugh.
But someone will buy Doug a leaping leprechaun. It's great. So the other bar crawl that we did is the Monorail bar crawl. I love these because it's a little bit less walking.
Oh, it's a lot less work.
Yeah, it's great. So we started the Monorail bar crawl at the Polynesian with our favorite drink on property at the...
No, we started it with the failure to get into Trader Sam's.
That's where we did.
By the way, that's what everybody does.
Please.
I don't know who gets in there because it's not us.
I have one time, but I had to wait. Like I stayed at the Poly and waited to get in. It was an hour wait. So we got the back scratcher with no back scratcher at the Tambu Lounge. So, but we drank. It's still, my gosh, it is the best drink on property. It's so refreshing. I drank mine so quickly. I was like, oh no,
it's
so hot.
It's so hot when we were there, and that drink is refreshing. That and the Leaping Leprechaun, they're very refreshing drinks, and they're my one too.
Yep, they're good
for sure. And then the drink I did not get at America, I can't remember what it was called. It's not the lemonade, but it's the other one. But yeah, got that, so I thought I'd vary it.
Yep.
But yeah, the bar crawl. So we were there with the listeners that booked through Touring Cruises. So if they booked through Touring Cruises, you did the Tambu Lounge with us, Lori and Mark. It was great to get to know them. So they did the whole Monorail bar or crawl with us. I hung out with them at our launching pad meetup as well earlier at the Magic Kingdom. And then, so Tambu, and then we had dinner at 1900 in there. And then we hit up the Enchanted Rose.
Yeah, we had roughly 11 people come out with us. And so that was really cool to have listeners and just a good time meeting you guys. It just, when people come out to just drink and talk with Doug and I, like there's nothing better for us doing this podcast for 8 years. So thank you.
Right. And also seeing the listeners interact and talk to each other, because you have a lot in common if you're listening to the same podcast and willing to come, have a drink. So we had a big group at Enchanted Rose, which is a great bar for a big group because they have two very kind of off to the sides from the main bar
Yep.
area. They have two fairly large rooms, so it's a very good bar for that type of thing. So we kind of had a whole room to ourselves, and it was fun. Lots of chats. One of listener that showed up is a cast member that happened to get on Tiana's that day, so
Oh
there was
yeah,
lots of questions about that. So that was cool. So we were there for what, an hour or so
probably.
at Enchanted Rose before we hopped on the old monorail where we shed almost everybody as we went
Yep.
around to the Contemporary, because that's the direction the monorail goes. And then we went and got a drink from Steakhouse 71. Steakhouse 71 has a lounge. They have a couple
Fantastic bar. Love
big,
that bar.
like, couches and chairs, and the not just a restaurant, their lounge is a legit bar that is kind of lesser known,
Hmm.
never busy, good drinks, and I
And
love that one.
we got our drinks to go.
We
So
did.
they made them, and then we were able to leave the Contemporary. We went to the little bridge between the Contemporary and Bay Lake Tower, and that is where we finished the evening watching Happily Ever After.
Did. It was fantastic.
Perfection.
Yeah. And then we even got to turn around and watch the electric pageant
We did.
on the
Actually, good
water.
point.
So win, win, win.
That was. So love me some monorail bar crawls. That's going to be something we will continue to do. And thank you so much to everyone who came out and joined us on that one. Thank you to everyone who we met
Yeah.
up with. There's so many times in the park, like wearing the hat and shirt, people would just, oh, I listen to you guys. I love your
Yeah.
show. And like that was the only interaction we would have with them.
Yeah, and I was waiting for you and Alex to get off Guardians of the Galaxy, and I got yelled at multiple times as people got off that attraction and left.
Yeah.
While I was standing there holding my drink carrier from Starbucks, because went to Starbucks, got us all drinks while you were on that attraction. I got myself a pink drink because that's how I roll.
You are the man.
I know.
So
So,
there you go. That was the rope drop radio
phew.
trip coming in at 1 hour now. So a
Oh
lot of
dear.
fun things. We did a lot of rides, ate a lot of food, had a lot of drinks. We met a lot of amazing people all around. It was a great trip.
Yes. Shout out to everybody that met up. Too many to name, but you know who you are. You're our
Yes,
favorite people.
you are. So there you go. If you want to book a trip to Walt Disney World, Disneyland, anywhere because you need a vacation, whether it be with us, August, April, when is it again, Doug? The Run Disney?
Early April, the
Yes.
springtime surprise, April 3rd through the 6th, roughly. I don't know if we'll get in on the 3rd or the 2nd, somewhere in there.
Whether you want to go on that trip with us or you want to go on a trip with your own, book a trip and touring cruises. Their link is in the show notes. And of course, you can support the show by joining our Patreon community where we got a bunch of bonus shows and after shows. That link is in the show notes as well. And of course, keep leaving those reviews and follow us on all the things. But we are going to get to that after show right now. So for Doug, I'm Derek. You've been listening to Rope Drop Radio.